Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here for the first time, welcome. If you don't know me, my name is Angela and I find my paradise through reading. And I thought it would be so much fun to share with you guys some books that I am scared to read for different reasons. Okay, and what made me think of this was yesterday as I was going through my bookshelves and I was trying to figure out, what am I going to read next, right? I just finished War and Peace. That was just a big book, and it was one of the most intimidating books for me to read. So if I were doing this video before War and Peace would have been the #1 book that I would have been scared to read. But give me a feather and give me a cap, because I just want to put a feather in my cap for having finished that book. And I'm just so proud of myself. I'm still thinking about it and I'm still so excited. But I was going through my bookshelves figuring, what am I going to read? And there were books that I have been putting off reading because I'm scared to read them for different reasons. And I thought it was funny that I kept passing these books by, and I said, let me pull these from the shelves and talk about them a little bit, and I don't know, and then put them right back on the shelves because I will continue to put them off. But here we go. Let me start off with these guys. Okay, this is not one book, but this is a trilogy, and this is this is the Anne Rice's Erotic Adventures of Sleeping Beauty, the trilogy. So we have The Claiming of Sleeping Beauty, Beauty's Punishment, and Beauty's Release. Okay, this is a hardcore S&M dominatrix, or dominating and submission, and from beginning to end. Why am I scared to read this? I'm scared I'm going to get a lot of great ideas. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, for the record, that was a joke. That was a joke. I am not scared I'm going to get ideas. Okay, I'm not scared to read these books at all. I probably haven't even finished. I've tried to read the first book a couple times, and it was a bit much. It's a lot of, let's just say, hardcore stuff that just numbs you after a while, because it's just, duh. But okay, let's get more serious. That was a joke. First one that I'm actually scared to read is A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. I probably really butchered that. Why am I scared to read this? It is a little bit of a big book. It's about 800 pages, but y'all know me and I like big books. That is not why I'm scared to read this. I have seen countless videos on BookTube of people just being torn apart by this book. They're bawling their eyes out. They're devastated. They are like shocked and upset, and people are not recommending this book. It's well written. It's not that, but they said it's just so maybe triggering, heart-wrenching stuff goes on here that they would not feel comfortable recommending this book to anyone. So what does that mean? So I got this book. Oh my goodness. I've had this book for over a year now. And every time I see it, I'm like, no, I really don't think I should read that. And then they even say, oh, you have to be in a very, very good state emotionally and mentally, and you have to be very strong, I guess, to stomach it or something, or to not have it, you know, put you into a hardcore depression. They worry. I've I've heard a booktuber say that they're worried that someone who isn't really secure or, you know, solid, I don't know how to say it, but they're saying, you know, it can push someone over the edge. And there were some people that were just like really depressed for a little bit after this book, and it was really hard to get out of this funk. I don't need that in my life right now. I'm very curious. I do want to read this at some point, and I'm not sure if there's ever going to be a good time, but and I like a good cry. I like books that make me feel something, but from what I understand, this is a bit much. So let me know if you've seen the same thing going around about this book, and I don't know. I'm scared to read it. So every time I'm looking for a book and I see it and I'm like, maybe next time, little life. and I'm solid. I'm sorry. I'm generally a very happy person, enjoying life, living my best life, no drama, and I still worry about what this book is going to do. So, and almost similarly, I have this book, Still Alice by Lisa Genova. Okay. And here's why I'm scared to read this one. Okay. This is, I think she's a professor. This is about a cognitive psychology professor at Harvard. And I'm sure this is fiction. Please say it is, because I mean, oh my goodness. Either way, what happens is this psychology professor at Harvard, cognitive psychology professor, she ends up getting diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's. And for me, the reason I'm scared of this book, I hear it's very touching. Some things can be difficult in this book because I think, from what I understand, it's just her experience and what she's going through, and still Alice, like it's still Alice under that, behind that disease. But I can't read it yet because my father has early onset Alzheimer's, and he was diagnosed. I want to say he was maybe about 53 years old when he was diagnosed. He's still alive, and it's terrible. It's a lot to deal with, and to read something like this, I think is just too soon, because I am in the midst of going through this experience and being by my dad's side and seeing the cognitive decline, the deterioration of everything, and just his whole personality, everything that, you know, the person that he was is just no longer there. It's still really difficult. And so because I'm just kind of really in it right now, I don't think I can read a book about it. No matter how well written, I don't think I can handle that. So this is a book that I keep passing by on my shelves because too soon. It's just, we're dealing with this right now, and I don't, no, thank you. So that's why I'm scared of reading this one, and I keep putting this one off. So that's Still Alice. I've heard amazing things about it. I'm sure it's a fantastic book. Look how beautiful it is. I can't do it right now. Can't do it. It's got the nice deckled edges too. It's a beautiful book. I can't do it. Not yet. Okay. Another book I'm scared to read. And this is The Odyssey by Homer. This will go hand in hand with the Iliad. I'm scared of reading the Iliad and the Odyssey. And anything that's kind of like an epic poem, this seems a bit much. I have opened up the Iliad and just kind of went through a couple pages and I'm like, what in the actual mess? I have no idea what. And the same with the Odyssey. It's just, and I'm gonna have to read them. They're on the 100 greatest books ever written, and I keep passing them by because it just doesn't seem that easy for me to grasp. And there was another one that was like that. With, I'll think of it. But there was another one that I opened yesterday and I was flipping through and it was just, nope, nope. I don't know. So I'm very intimidated by the Iliad and the Odyssey, and I'm gonna have to tackle them. I am, but I'm scared to read it. I'm scared I'm not gonna get it. I'm scared it's gonna be really drawn out, that it's just gonna be way too intense, just too. Okay, the last one that I have here is The House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski. I'm probably butchering that. Okay, I'm not sure. This is really cool. I love the spine of this book. It's the design completely. It's just very, very cool book. And I don't know if you can see like the, yes, you can, how it's like that. Okay. So the only thing I really know about this book is I think this house is bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. Maybe it's haunted. Maybe weird things are going on. Not really sure. And I've heard so many different things about this book, about how it's very, very difficult to understand. Either like you love it or you hate it, you get it or you don't. It creeps some people out. But it is very, very bizarre. Even the layout of it. You have like different type. Okay, so let me see if you can see that a little bit. And then you'll have, you'll have some pages where the writing is just kind of upside down and in a corner. You'll have some pages that are, you know, just little bits and pieces. There's, I don't even know how to explain this. It's just so bizarre all throughout. It's just like, what is this? And so here's why I am scared to read this book. First of all, am I going to get it? Or what could be worse than me not getting it is that I'm going to understand a bit of it, just enough to mess with my head. And that's scary. I have a very vivid imagination. And I will tell you that the scariest movie I have ever seen, I can't believe I'm telling you this, is the Blair Witch Project. And in that movie, you don't see anything. You do not see anything happening. But it is what you don't see, and you're just, your imagination is going off, and it is horrifying. It terrified me so terribly bad. I will never forget it. I watched that movie. I could not sleep. I had every single light in that house on in my apartment, and I was sitting there, and I guess I actually fell asleep with my eyes open because I saw my sister come past my room and turn off the light switch. And so that's kind of when I blinked, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was sleeping with my eyes open. That's how scared I was. That's how vivid my imagination is, and how I can be like really, really freaked out over something, you know, that I don't know, that I don't really understand, and I'm not really sure what's going on. And so my imagination, I guess, just fills in the blanks. So that's kind of like what I'm worried about in here, that if I do understand some of this, it's going to mess with my head and it's going to freak me out. And it's supposed to be creepy, I think. Maybe scary, maybe supernatural, paranormal things going on. I'm not exactly sure. But ooh, just even this, this page. And it just says Johnny, 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 Johnny. And I don't know. I'm scared. I think if I do understand a bit of this, it's probably going to freak me out really, really bad. And there's a lot of writing. Some of these pages might have one or two words on them, but some of these pages is just chocked full. Like, can you imagine reading this? Like, come on, like, what? That's a lot. That is like a small font, narrow margins. Like, oh my gosh, I don't know. We'll see. Oh my gosh. We'll see. Anyways, so those are a couple of the books that I thought I would share with you today, on books that I'm scared to read. Not even necessarily horror, but books that either intimidate me or give me the heebie-jeebies, or I know that's just gonna like break my heart so bad that I just don't want to put myself through that right now. So if you have any books that you're scared to read, or because you're intimidated, or you're worried how they're going to affect you or impact you, or you're scared you're not going to get it, or you're scared that you are going to get it, let me know in the comments. Well, happy reading, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.